Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News. With this week's big news of course being Bandai's Hobby Next item thingy, where they announced 19 new Gunpla things, being actual Gunpla but also accessories, which will all be releasing between April and September. And it definitely was an interesting mix of like totally expected things and also some unexpected things in there. All of which can of course be ordered through Hobbling Japan with the links down below. And by using those links, you will also be supporting the channel. So first up in April, we are getting the high-grade Police Zaku for 2,200 yen, 15 US. It comes with its modified Zaku machine gun, a heat hawk, a shield with a baton, and what looks like pretty good articulation. The design of the model kit does still lean very close to the, let's say, controversial line art, but in the action poses, it does look pretty damn good. Oh, and of course, it also comes with marking stickers to replicate all of those markings. I just hope that it comes with a bunch of numbers so that we can give the Zaku the number we want. Because like in the past, there have also been kits that only came with like a handful of selected canonical numbers. Moving on to May then, where unfortunately the new information is a bit limited. The first kit we're getting is the high-grade Red Gundam for 2,750 yen, 18 US. But we did already have all of the necessary details for this kit. It looks much better than the line art, and it comes complete with 2 bits, a beam rifle, 2 beam sabers with beam saber blade effect parts, a Gundam hammer, a shield, a sheet of marking stickers, and extra joint parts for both the shield and the bits. The shield can be attached to the arm or the back, and the bits can be attached to the unit, which I'm assuming is the shoulders, the lower arms, and the legs. And from the looks of it, the shield and the bits use the same connector, so I'm pretty sure you can put anything wherever you want. And you can combine this thing then with the action-based number 7 clear color version with GQuuuuuX sticker set, which will be retailing for 1,540 yen, 10 US. Included are 2 action bases number 7, the choice between either C-clamps or a peg, and 4 character stickers. There's Machu, Nyaan, Shuji, and Char Aznable. So even for the people who aren't super into GQuuuuuX yet, they might still be interested in getting this thing just for Char alone. And finally for May, we have the high-grade GQuuuuuX new product A, which will retail for 2,420 yen, 16 US. And in June then, we are getting the high-grade GQuuuuuX new product B, which will also be retailing for 2,420 yen, 16 US. And based on the price, I'm guessing that A and B will be the White Gundam and Char's Zaku. The White Gundam won't come with the bits, so it'll be a little bit cheaper than the Red Gundam, and Char's Zaku will probably come with like an extra bazooka or something, so it makes sense that it's slightly more expensive than the Police Zaku. So my guesstimate for both of these kits would be 2,420 yen. And also releasing in June is the Figurized Standard Machu for 4,180 yen, 28 US. And she is coming with a lot more stuff than I was expecting. We already knew that she was going to come with a removable backpack and a Haro wearing a beanie, but now we also know that she comes with a smartphone, a bunch of extra hand options, bare legs, an entirely different torso to display her without her cardigan, a different tie, and the 3 usual face options. 1 neutral pre-printed option, and then 2 more expressive faces where you have to apply the eyes yourself with the provided Waterslide decals. There's a big smile and a more disappointed face. Also, the skirt is confirmed to be made out of softer material for better articulation, and the beanie on the Haro is removable. Which then leaves me with the same question I had as when she was first announced. Can Machu wear it? They don't specify if she can or can't, but she does come with an extra hairpiece that is never elaborated on. So I'm hoping she can. And in July, you can pair her with the Figurized Standard Nyaan for also 4,180 yen, 28 US. And she also came with more accessories than I was expecting. She comes with conch, sunglasses, earphones, a smartphone, a second skirt for action poses, a bunch of hand options, a Deli Eats backpack, so she's working for Space Uber Eats. She comes with parts to display her with a ponytail, and just like Machu, she comes with an entire extra torso to display her without her jacket. And then for the face options, instead of the usual 3, she comes with 4 of them, being 1 pre-printed one, and then 3 where you have to apply the eyes for yourself. Again, Waterslide decals are included. Next up then for July, we have the high-grade light cannon for 2,200 yen, 15 US. The gimified mass production gun cannon that became the Federation's main mobile suit in GQuuuuuX. It comes with a beam rifle, a single beam saber with beam saber blade effect part, and both open and closed hands. And what I think might be very interesting for people who like switching weapons and equipment around, it looks like those hard points on the shoulders, the elbows, and the lower legs are identical to those on the Red Gundam. So I think that this thing should be able to use the Red Gundam shield and even its bits. That'll teach him to underestimate the gun cannon. And you can perhaps customize it even further with the option part set Gunpla 17 binder gun. It retails for 660 yen, 4 US, and as some of you have undoubtedly correctly guessed, this is just a straight up re-release of the high-grade built custom binder gun. Same accessories, same price, different box. Also, don't let the name deceive you. The actual binder gun is only a very small part of this set, and most of the things included are joints, which will come in very handy for customizing your Gunpla or, your other plastic model kits. And the final July release is the high-grade GQuuuuuX new kit C for 2,860 yen, 19 US. And considering the price of this thing being on par with the Red Gundam and its bits, maybe it's like that Spec Ops version of the Police Zaku, because it does come with a pretty beefy backpack that would up the price, at least somewhat significantly. August then is when we get something that I really wasn't expecting anymore. The high-grade Gallus-J for 2,750 yen, 18 US. I remember being hyped for this thing when the Shuzrum Gallus was released over a decade ago. But since then, I have definitely lost hope of this thing ever being released. And if you told me that we were going to get a Double Zeta Gundam kit, I would have expected more something like the Cubile mass production type. But nope, we got the Gallus-J instead. And the main reason that I wanted this thing wasn't actually because of the anime, but because it was one of my main mobile suits in Giren's Greed when I was playing with Zeon. These things were good. But anyways, this model kit version will come with its very unique looking energy gun, which is like a combination of a beam rifle and a missile launcher in a not very conventional package, let's say. The shoulder-mounted missile launchers open up by parts forming, the left Vulcan hand can parts form into a fist, there's 2 extension pieces for the pile driver punch, being 1 for each arm, we get a beam saber with a beam saber blade effect part, and then we get 2 solid mono-eye pieces rather than 1 movable mono-eye, so you can put the sticker on each piece in a slightly different position. The big release for that month, though, is the Master Grade Super Deformed Ariel. It goes for 4,290 yen, 29 US, and it comes with most of the things you'd expect from the Ariel. You can change the shell unit to be either red or blue, so it can go up to permit score 6. The shield can be divided into its individual parts and can be either hooked up to the aerial or to an action base. The eyes are super detailed. We've got a lot of metallic parts for some extra flair. 2 beam sabers with beam saber blade effect parts, and a beam rifle with beam effect part. Unfortunately though, we're only getting the green beam effect parts, and I think it would have been cool to have both the green and the blue effect parts, considering, this is supposed to be like the master grade super deformed. But I guess it makes up for this with its great articulation though. It's even got like an extra hinge on the entire front skirt armor assembly to make a full crouch possible, which is no small feat. One thing I'm missing here though is the reflection cut technology. This was quite heavily pushed with the previous Master Grade Super Deformed, and there is no mention of it here anywhere. Also, I know that this is an extreme nitpick, but it really annoys me that they wrote permit score 6 in red, when that is the permit score that has the blue shell unit. And to wrap up August, there is the high-grade GQuuuuuX new item D for 2,530 Yen, 17 US. And my guess for this thing based on the price is either like the Pomeranian Zaku or maybe the standard gun cannon. And finally in September, we are technically getting the most releases, but also not quite. Because 4 out of the 6 releases are Waterslide decals that go for 550 Yen a pop for US. And unfortunately, we don't have a full image of those decal sets yet, just like 1 or 2 preview images. We have number 139, GQuuuuuX General Purpose 1 for machines like the GQuuuuuX itself, number 140, GQuuuuuX General Purpose 2 for the Red Gundam and more, number 141, Gundam Seed Freedom General Purpose 1 for the Rising Freedom, Immortal Justice, Shiva, etc., and number 142, Gundam Seed Freedom General Purpose 2 for the Mighty Strike Freedom, Infinite Justice Gundam Type 2, Cholera, and others. The 5th release then is the high-grade GQuuuuuX new item E for 3,630 Yen, 24 US, which sounds like a price that doesn't really mesh with any of the GQuuuuuX mobile stews that we've seen so far, so I'm like 99% certain that this is going to be a machine that we haven't seen before. The 6th release then is the Real Great Wing Gundam Zero TV version for 4,620 Yen, 31 US. A release that I guess I should have seen coming, but I honestly wasn't really expecting it. It's just that I've gotten really used to Bandai just like glossing over the TV version after the OVA version got a release. But sometimes it is good to be wrong. The proportions promise to be quite chunky, and it comes with a nice array of accessories and gimmicks. We've got a bunch of different hand options, 2 beam sabers with beam saber blade effect parts, a full transformation, a lot of movable parts on the wing binders, so you can put them in whatever position you want, and I also really like what they did with the thrusters, by the way, and those like extra parts surrounding them. The machine cannons open up, the chest vents open up, it promises to have some sweet armor separation on the knees, and of course it comes with its trusty twin buster rifle and shield. The twin buster rifle can be separated in 2, and on top of that, it also comes with a real great exclusive extending mechanism to make it just that little bit more impressive when firing. And it also just goes really well with the twin buster rifle. The shield then maintains its pile bunker functionality and claims to also have a real great original gimmick. But the way I'm understanding it, it's not really that original. The small wings on the shield tip can move, and thanks to the gears on them, they move together. Which is a gimmick that was present on the Master Grade Proto Zero and then carried over to the Master Grade Wing Zero Endless Waltz version Kotoki. So it's really only the 3rd model kit with that feature. But technically, you can say that the Proto Zero and the Wing Zero TV version are two different machines, so technically this is the first Wing Zero TV version model kit with this feature. And while that was all for the new Gunpla kits, Bandai did have a lot more shit that they announced, but unfortunately I don't have the time to really go into all of those right now. I will say though, I wasn't joking when I said shit. They are literally going to be releasing poop model kits. And not just like 1 or 2 of them, they're releasing 8 of them. And related to the Gunpla news, the second series of Gunpla Boxart Gummies will be releasing in July. One gummy will cost you 165 yen, around 1 US, and will come with one of 33 Gunpla Boxart carts. So far though, they've only confirmed the high-grade GQuuuuuX as part of the lineup. And since we just talked about a lot of GQuuuuuX Gunpla, let's quickly go over to the GQuuuuuX movie news. The movie has grossed over 2.5 billion yen by now, and over 1.5 million people have gone to see it, putting it in a solid second place, second only to that one ridiculously popular other Gundam movie, which is of course Gundam Seed Freedom. Love it or hate it. Although I do want to add one asterisk to this. Gundam Encounters in Space grossed 2.3 billion yen in 1982, and when we then adjust this for inflation, it actually becomes 3.2 billion yen. So you can rank GQuuuuuX for the moment how you want. But they aren't ready to call it quits just yet, because from the 22nd, moviegoers in Japan will get this new A5 illustration card as a freebie, and they will also get something that is simply described as a special video. And we also get this screen cap to go along with it. My guess is that it's simply like a preview of episode 4, but I'm sure it'll convince a lot of people to go watch it a second time. And for my fellow Europeans out there, Bandai just confirmed that the movie will be releasing in Europe in March, although more details about the exact dates and the exact countries will be released at a later date. After the Gunpla news then, our second big headline came from the gaming front. Gundam Seed Battle Destiny is not just getting a remaster, which will be releasing for Nintendo Switch and Steam, but it's also being translated into English for a global release. To get the physical version though, you will have to get the Asian release, because it has been announced that in the US, the Switch version will only get a digital release, and consequently, I'm pretty sure that the PAL regions will only get it digitally as well. Japan, meanwhile, is not just getting a regular physical release, but also a special edition. It comes with, of course, the base game, and make sure that you're sitting for this, 116 mini acrylic stands of every mobile suit that's included, 55 mini acrylic stands of the characters, which you can then put on the base of the mobile suit acrylic stands, and one game logo mini acrylic stand. And all of this will set you back 27,500 yen, 183 US. So yeah, that's a lot of acrylic stands, but it is probably the only way you are ever going to get anything for some of the more obscure mobile suits included in the game. Think for example the N-Dagger N. We're never getting a high grade for that thing, and I really hope I just reverse jinx that. But back to the game itself then, the most obvious upgrade is of course the graphics. It's great to see this little VD game in high definition, but I'm not entirely sure how I feel about the very shiny look of everything now. It all just looks very glossy. Other upgrades then include a new user interface and a new lock-on mode, which will definitely be very useful because I vaguely remember the lock-on system always locking onto the thing that I didn't want to lock onto. As for the people who wanted to know like my thoughts on this remaster, I was not expecting it at all. If like a few weeks ago there had been any rumors about it, I would have just been like, nah, those are just like rumors someone is making up. There's no way we are actually getting this thing remastered. But I am very much looking forward to playing it again because this is a game that I have platinumed. So yeah, I don't like it quite as much as Rengo vs. F Portable, but I did still have a lot of fun with it. For the rest of the gaming news then, pre-registrations for SD Gundam G Generation Eternal have gone over 300,000, meaning that we've already secured 1 premium gacha ticket and 4 diamonds, each good for 1 gacha pull. In Gundam Battle Operation 2 for the PlayStation, they're celebrating 6 million downloads with some nice login bonuses, and the RF Zagok has joined the fray, while on Steam, the Rizel C-Type Defensor A unit has become available. And in UC Engage, we got a new combat power augmentation operation and a new raid battle versus the Magna Martel Awaken, which has now also become available in UR form as an extreme limited unit assembly, along with its pilot, Celine Rom. And then just today, Arsenal Base 4 Squad Season 1 has gone live, giving us 80 new cards to collect, with the main ones being from 0083, Freedom, and GQuuuuuX. The flagship cards are the Mighty Strike Freedom and Kira and Lacus, the GQuuuuuX Omega Saikamu and Machu, the Red Gundam 0085 spec, and the Dendrobium and Uraki. Additionally, they're also having a giveaway campaign for promotional cards of the Mighty Strike Freedom and the Dendrobium, and new Arsenal-based themed Bandai Namco passports have also become available. The available designs are the RX-78-2, the Zeta Gundam, the Calibarn, the Strike Freedom Gundam, and the GQuuuuuX, but you will have to get them in a blind bag, retailing for 660 yen a piece for US. In other news then, Gundam Seed Freedom has won the Synergy Award at the 19th Seiyu Awards. We got some more Advance of Zeta designs, this time featuring the Advanced Binder unit for the Gapland, turning it into the Advanced Gapland, and we got some exhibition news. Tickets are now on sale for the Designs Mamoru Nagano Design Exhibition, which will be held from April the 5th until May the 4th in Fukuoka, and the Giant Robots exhibition has now opened up in Aichi and will stay there until March the 24th. Also, for those of you who saw my video on the Ikebukuro version of this exhibition, this one is looking much better. The venue looks more filled, the life-sized floor Gundam has its weapons again, plus it is slightly cheaper and has a small extra exhibition. And we also got pictures for the Pop Over Musashi no Fighting Robots exhibition, which will be held until March the 30th at the Tokorozawa Aviation Memorial Museum. It features modern art of various mech anime made by various artists, and some of the works here are definitely very artsy, with some very varying art styles. As for the things you could get this week then, first up on the 13th, you could outfit your iPhone 16 Pro or 16 Pro Max with these Gundam-themed flash cases. They're available in RX-78-2, Char's Zaku 2, the Unicorn in Destroy mode, or the Sazabi with big funnels, and in addition to having a really cool mechanical illustration of the mobile suit, these cases also have an LED in them that is powered by the radio waves of your iPhone. But because of this, these cases also go for 17,600 yen, which is 117 US. Next up then, on the 17th, you could get the latest lineup of Gundam Artifact, the resin-colored line of mini Gunplas that are as detailed as they are small. Or if you happen to get a rare one, it'll be clear blue instead of the resin-ish pale orange color. For 550 yen a pop, for US, you could get the Zaku Cannon, the O, the Hyakushiki, the Double Zeta Gundam, or the Silver Bullet Suppressor. And each of them also comes with a soda-flavored piece of chewing gum. Meanwhile, on the 18th, 700 yen or 5 US would get you a ticket for the online limited Ichiban Kuji GQuuuuuX. Like I went over last week, the main prize is a very nice looking masteralized figure of Machu, which is then followed up by a big acrylic stand of the titular GQuuuuuX with Machu and Nyaan, a big acrylic stand of the Red Gundam and Kuji, randomized acrylic stands of the main characters and megs, rubber keychains which also include the mascot characters, or the consolation prize, which is a clear file and sticker combo. Plus, if you then happen to get the last ticket of a certain set rotation, you will also get this bonus Masterlized Machu figure. It is the same figure as like the main prize, but it now has a pearly coating. And then finally today, you could get some very much anticipated Gunpla and figures. For the Gunpla, 3,520 yen, 23 US, would get you the high-grade Zagok Gundam Seed Freedom version, which comes complete with an X-Wing, active and inactive claws, details on the feet to show you that the Infinite Justice Type 2 is in there, and straight up a simplified Infinite Justice Type 2 torso, which is visible when you change the Zagok's normal scalp with the damaged scalp. And that simplified torso can also be changed with the regular torso of the high-grade Infinite Justice Type 2. And then for 2,970 and 20 US, you can pair it up with the option part set Gunpla 15 Cavalier Aifrid, which comes with an action base to put it on, various connector pieces to allow different kits to connect with it, and a Type 35 prototype advanced railgun, which also has various connector pieces to store it on different Freedom kits. And when looking at the promotional images, one of them reveals a previously unmentioned feature. You can connect the arm of the action base to the Cavalier to solidly mount a Gunpla on top of it. And I also really like the image of the Dagger L with the Schwertgewehr using the Cavalier. It's cute how it's trying to be more than just a grunt. And if you want to give your high grades even more firepower, you can get the re-release of the machine-built Burstliner. It goes for 16,500 yen, 110 US, and is a mostly complete figure that is designed to go with your 144th scale high-grade Gunpla. And finally, for 9,350 yen, 62 US, you can go for the Cosmo Fleet Special NAhel Argama Final Chapter version RE. And I gotta say, the extra weathering of the version RE figures goes really well with the battle damage of the Final Chapter version. Other features are opening hangar bays, the Hyper Mega Particle Cannon in either standby mode or charging mode, 4 in-scale mini mobile suits, and a sheet of Waterslide decals. It ain't cheap, but it is looking really good. As for this week's reading material, there was the big comic superior in which Gundam Thunderbolt is being serialized. The 4th chapter of G Gundam Gaidin's final volume has been released for free online and is linked down below. And it was announced that on March the 18th, a special book will be released where the editor of the New Type magazine talks about the history of otaku culture. And when looking at the cover, I'm sure they'll also be talking a lot about Gundam. On to the apparel news then, where this week it was only Cospa, and their only announcement was this fancy double-layer Hyakushiki mug, which will be releasing in late May for 3,960 yen, 26 US. So as always, let's quickly wrap things up with the polls. With the release of the high-grade Zagok Gundam Seed Freedom version, Gundam.info wanted to know what our favorite mobile suit with like a surprise feature was. And to absolutely no one's surprise, the Zagok took home the victory with 71.4%. Not only was it the thing that inspired the poll in the first place, but it's also one of the most popular machines from the most popular Gundam movie to date. They could have asked whatever. If the Zagok was in the poll, it was going to win. Unless it was up against something like the Mighty Strike Freedom or something. In second place then, we have the Virtue hiding the Nodley, which got 15.7%, which, I mean, considering it went up against the Zagok, I guess that is good. Third place then goes to the Dharma and the Dahak with 9.1%, and in last place we have the Gushin and its surprising rebake with 3.8%. As for the currently ongoing poll then, Gundam.info wants to know what our favorite moment from the original Gundams episode 33 was. My best guess as to why they went with this question is because they're running out of ideas, and the 3rd of March is a Japanese holiday, so they wanted to do something with 3-3. But whatever their reasoning might be, the options are the introduction of the Brabro, the introduction of Cameron Bloon, the encounter between Amuro and his dad, or Amuro shooting down 12 DOMs. And this week again, we see somewhat of a divide between the main website version of the poll and the Twitter version of the poll. They agree on Amuro shooting down 12 DOMs being in the lead, and poor Cameron being last, but then on Gundam.info the Brabro is second, while on Twitter, Amuro and his dad are second. I can't help but feel that if they would have gone with Amuro smashing his dad's upgrade for the Gundam, that they would have gotten more votes. Also, instead of just Cameron's introduction, I feel like Slegger punching Cameron would have also gotten more votes. But if you want to cast your vote, I'll of course have the links down below. And that has been all for this week's Gundam news. Don't forget to grab some of those newly announced Gunpla with the links down below. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.